Good morning and welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. If you're watching us live, thank you for that. If you are watching us later, we do upload these shows to www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast, so we appreciate you watching them there as well. Also, of course, Facebook keeps this pretty pervasive on our page. You can go back and watch it as you're at your leisure. Of course, we have all of our shows are on our Facebook page. Want to let folks know about a couple of updates. I'm going to be slowly shifting back to the office this week. As we do that, we're going to be getting into what we had described to you before, which is the Rona Rewind. We have a lot to cover from the past couple of weeks. So as we kind of filter out of just coronavirus-based shows going into the end of this week and starting next week, of course, which it'll be June, believe it or not. Also, we're going to be expecting next Monday, June 1st, some kind of update on whether or not we're going to move into phase 2. So it's going to be interesting to see what the governor says next week. But again, moving out of these coronavirus-dominated shows and will be congruent with myself moving back to the office on a little more of a regular basis. So that will be beginning either later this week or at the beginning of next week. Haven't quite decided yet. It's going to depend on how quickly I can get all my stuff moved back in and get my studio set back up at the office. So please keep that in mind as we're moving forward. Of course, we still have some coronavirus stuff to talk about today, also in conjunction with the legislative session. So let's get into it. First, with your traffic. Looks like a lot of people took a fourth day of vacation here around Memorial Day. Hope you all had a great day celebrating those who have given the ultimate sacrifice for us so that we can do things like have this show and tell you about what's going on in the world. There are minor delays on 64, as well as 4-H Club Road, River Road, and 190. Also delays at 190 and Juban. However, the on-ramps on the I-12 looking pretty clear, and I-12 is flowing, so that's a good sign. It's currently 74 degrees. 85 degrees is your high today. 70 degrees, your overnight low. Now, rain is supposed to start here within about an hour, hour and a half, and will run pretty much all day. We're going to be looking at some isolated thunderstorms in and around the 2 and 3 p.m. hour, and then some thunderstorms overnight. Now, it's been supposed to rain, or it has supposed to have rained for several days now, and of course, we've gotten some showers in and around the area, but nothing too crazy. But they are saying, at least those who provide our weather, at least those who provide our weather, that we are looking at rain beginning between the 9 and 10 p.m. hour, lasting all day, and going to have some thunderstorms this afternoon and tonight. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Let's get into these mitigation efforts real quick. Wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds or more. Disinfect common surfaces at home and at the office. Wear a mask if at all possible. Control your cough with a elbow or tissue. That includes sneezing as well. Don't touch your face. 6 feet or more of distance between yourself and others in public. 10 or less to a gathering. And stay home, if at all possible, to work. And stay home if you are sick and contact your doctor via telehealth. Want to remind folks there is a crisis counseling text line. If you're feeling overwhelmed by COVID-19, if you need somebody to talk to and you just don't feel comfortable talking to your friends or family, you can call this number. It is anonymous. In order to get them to call you, this is a text line. The call line already exists. So let me back up. Instead of having to call somebody, they now have set up a text line for you to text. You text reach out in all capital letters to 741-741. And instead of having to talk to someone on the phone, they will text back and forth with you. They are trained professionals, trained to de-escalate a situation and try to get you back on a good path. So again, if you're feeling overwhelmed by COVID-19, can't talk to family, can't talk to friends, can't talk to somebody on the phone, remember to text reach out to 741-741. Before we get into our coronavirus stuff, I want to talk about the legislature. Looking like they're barreling toward a $30+ billion budget. They're going to try to shore up some shortfalls with federal money that is supposed to be, they are expecting that Senator John Kennedy's bill, which would allow more flexibility for spending of the money that has come from the government, to shore up pieces of that, as well as there is a bill by Dr. Bill Cassidy, who is also a senator, looking to add more money to municipal and governmental coffers, waiting to see if those two will come out or not. Of course, the federal government is supposed to reconvene both houses sometime this week, post-Memorial Day. So we will see. This is also the week where the Senate will be looking at the new House stimulus bill that is $3 trillion. Of course, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said that they would be checking this out after Memorial Day, which of course is today. So we'll see how that rolls going forward at that level. Getting into your coronavirus statistics, 37,809 cases after the Memorial Day weekend, 2,585 deaths, 28,700 recoveries, 331,000 tests, 847 hospitalized on 102 ventilators. There are 391 cases in Livingston Parish. Coming to Livingston Parish, as well as many areas throughout the state, is mobile testing, which is going to be in Denham Springs, Walker, Springfield, Livingston, French Settlement, Albany, and Maurepas. That starts today, May 26th, and will run through June 19th. If you're looking for exact locations of when and where the mobile testing site will be, you can check out our website, www.livingstonparishnews.com/coronavirus. There will be a link there to the story. At the very bottom of the story, there is an exact time and location for the mobile testing site on a daily basis, so you can check that out. If you are symptomatic, you are asked to go. Please remember the symptoms are fever, loss of taste and smell, difficulty breathing, and a dry cough. So if you have any one of those, or any kind of pneumonia type symptom, so if you have any one of those 5 symptoms, you are asked to go get tested. It will be a nasal test, so prepare your sinuses for that. More than 8,000 vials of Remdesivir, I think I got that right, I practiced that over the weekend, are coming to Louisiana. The governor announced last week that the state would be receiving, again, about 8,000 vials of the drug, which was discussed by the federal task force, specifically Dr. Anthony Fauci, as something that helps through the various clinical trials that have been done so far. It helps with recovery time. It speeds up recovery from COVID-19. So again, about 8,000 vials are going to be made available to the Bayou State, or have already arrived, and will be distributed to roughly 50 hospital sites. Which hospitals get how many vials is very much dependent on how many coronavirus cases they're treating at the time. So again, the hospitals that are determined to receive Remdesivir, it all depends. How many vials they receive depends on how many coronavirus patients they are treating at that time. It takes about 1 vial for a full treatment, and it requires up to 3 treatments per patient. And of course, we talked about it earlier. 847 are currently hospitalized in Louisiana with COVID-19. 102 of those on ventilators. On Friday, at his press conference leading into the Memorial Day weekend, President Donald Trump declared that churches were essential and that they should reopen immediately at full capacity. Now, this is kind of a mixed review deal here locally. There's been a lot of contention between whether or not the president can override a governor's proclamation in terms of how many people can visit and cannot. It'll be interesting to see where this sort of back and forth goes from here. But from what I could tell from my social media feed, most of the local churches here are still offering live services on Facebook or pre-recorded services on Facebook or YouTube, while a lot of people stayed home. Of course, during phase 1, churches were allowed to reopen at 25% capacity. So not exactly sure how some churches are handling that, maybe a roster and saying these folks up to this name can, for a last name, first letter or last name, can come to church today or something of that nature. But I did see a lot of live services over the weekend. So it looks like a lot of churches are still going to offer that service while they kind of wait to see how phase 1 goes. Again, phase 1 reopened churches and a lot of other businesses at 25% capacity. Still, some businesses are closed. Something that sort of showed some signs of, I guess you can say, a normal summer was Tiki Tubing. Opened on Friday right here before the Memorial Day holiday. Of course, that's about a 2 or 3 mile stretch up there on the Amite River in Watson that gets very popular during the summer. You get on the river, float down the river, and you get out of the river. It's a very relaxing day. We do have some neat little aerial shots of the river that you can check out on our website, www.livingstonparishnews.com. However, they're trying to offer some new things, especially surrounding COVID. One of the deals that they did announce is that you must wear a mask for the bus ride. So what happens is you show up at Tiki Tubing, you park, you check in, and then you have to get on a bus to go to where the float starts. During that bus ride, you were not going to be able to social distance appropriately, so they are asking people to wear a mask in that situation. If you don't wear a mask will be provided for $1. Didn't hear about any contention over the weekend, so it looks like people played ball, and lucky for them, that rain that we were told was going to kind of ruin our weekend sort of stayed away, so it turned into a pretty decent weekend in terms of weather. So again, Tiki Tubing is open if that's kind of your thing, or if you're just looking for a relaxing day on the river. Go check it out. It is in Watson. If you were taking Magnolia Beach Road, when you hit 1024, take a right, and it'll be up there on your left. They have moved to a new site that is closer to Magnolia Beach Road or Highway 64 heading into Central post-flood. Again, they changed their headquarters after the flood kind of came through and made for a bad day. We do have a story up on our website that you can go check out, where we checked in with them to see, with the owners, to see what life was like after the flood. Now, this was a story from, time flies, 2 years ago. But they did bounce back, found a new headquarters, and have moved on. So again, Tiki Tubing is open in Watson. Also want to remind folks that we're going to be keeping an eye on the Louisiana legislature, because there are some bills outside of the budget that are being considered, including Senator Kirk Talbot's omnibus bill that is focused on car insurance rates. So please keep an eye on that. We will be discussing that in more detail if it passes the House. It has passed the Senate in a veto-proof vote of 29-8. It will head over to the House. It'll have to get a veto-proof vote there after getting out of committee before heading to the governor's desk. There's questions about whether or not the governor will sign it, because it's not real lawyer friendly, or at least lawyers who enter into litigation based on car insurance and car accidents. So we'll see again how that goes as it, I guess you can say, exits the House and heads up to the governor's desk. Want to talk about these coronavirus statistics one more time. 37,809 cases, 2,585 deaths, 28,700 recoveries, 331,000 total tests, so barreling towards that 200,000 test mark here in the month of May. 847 hospitalized on 102 ventilators. Those mitigation efforts, again: wash your hands for 20 seconds or more with soap and water. Disinfect common surfaces at home and at the office. Wear a mask in public. Control your cough with an elbow or a tissue that includes sneezing. Don't touch your face. 6 feet or more of distance between yourself and others in public. 10 or less to a gathering, preferably less. Stay home and work if at all possible. And stay home if you are sick, and utilize telehealth to get in touch with your doctor. Want to remind folks, traffic looking relatively light today, as it looks like people took an extra day for that Memorial Day holiday. Minor delays on 64 heading into Central. Minor delays at 4H Club Road, River Road, and 190. Delays on the on-ramps getting on to I-12. I-12 is flowing. Some heavier delays at 190 and Jubin. It's currently 74 degrees. 85 degrees is your high. 70 degrees your overnight low. Looking at rain to begin between the 9 and 10 a.m. hour, and it's going to last pretty much all day. Thunderstorms starting about the 2 to 3 p.m. hour, and then some more thunderstorms tonight. Want to remind folks that we will be entering, I guess you can call it, the Rona Rewind era as we move towards getting back into the office. I will be making a slow transition during the week. Might probably get started sometime next week. It would be Monday if we did get that started. However, we're also expecting a big announcement from the governor on Monday. That would be June 1st regarding where we're going for phase 2. So please keep an eye on that for his press conference next week. Of course, he's only going to have 2 this week. Didn't have one yesterday. One last time, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning for the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We are once a week in print on Thursdays. You get that in your mailbox. It's $7 a month. We are also online, www.livingstonparishnews.com. We have a podcast page for these. We also have a coronavirus page, which is free, that you can check out at your leisure. We hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. We do hope you stay dry today, and we will see you tomorrow morning.